Hello, John Galino. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, happy to. Thanks, Susan.
Give me an idea of what your role is at GK3.
So I'm the owner and founder of GK3. We're a marketing agency that focuses specifically on financial services companies. And GK3 stands for my four kids. Their names, Geo.
Really? I did
Yeah,
not know that. Well, let's name them.
Geo is the G. And then I have three daughters, Kinsley, Caitlin, and Kendall. That's the
And that's the
K3.
three. That's very great. Love how
Yeah.
you did that. And I do like that you tied it to yourself personally, but you didn't make it your name. So
Yep.
it transfers down the road,
Yeah,
maybe.
well, I started this business by accident. So nothing was planned really, other than I had an idea, I created an LLC, and then 3 months later, I was in business.
And there you are. And you know
Yeah.
how many of the people we work with are in that same boat? I cannot tell you.
Yeah, because if anybody knew how hard it was, they wouldn't do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you spend the next years of your life fighting for your freedom back that you thought you were
That
getting
you
by
thought you were
doing this.
getting. Yeah, totally.
Right. So, let's talk a little bit about, well, why don't you mention this too, in case there's people out there looking for your services. Let's talk a little bit more about your services and who your target client is.
Sure. So we work mostly with uh, asset management firms, financial advisory firms, and then fintech firms,
Okay.
all who are looking to grow their business. And digital is a big component of that, digital marketing.
Hmm.
Uh, Most folks in that industry are not leveraging digital marketing to to sell. They're still cold calling and blast emailing and doing all the stuff that we used to do traditionally when I was in financial services. And so we try and augment that or complement that with digital marketing services. Everything from websites to SEO to content, thought leadership. Uh,
Anything out there in the intertubes.
yes, we run the gamut.
Love it. So I don't know if you remember because unlike most of these success stories that I record, you worked with us 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah,
not just coming off closing out our deal. So this is an
yeah.
interesting twist on how this worked. So I don't know if you remember how you found us.
I don't remember how I found you.
Could it have been through teamwork.com's partner page?
It could have been.
Okay.
Uh, it could have been.
Okay.
I I don't
It was a
remember
long time
honestly.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. So before we worked together,
yeah.
what else had you tried to get your project management in order?
Well, that was the thing is that we didn't have project management, right? We were all kind of running around. Everything lived in somebody's head. We were probably at I don't know, 1 million in revenue, let's call it. There was five of us. There was no coordinated place. I had two partners at the time, and in my head, I was like, if we're going to scale, we can't just keep doing it this way, right? We
Right.
can't have some stuff living in my head, some stuff living in somebody else's head. Uh, so the goal was always to scale. So project management just seemed like the right next step, and I had to fight my partners.
I remember
Yeah,
one of the ones telling me, we don't need this, we just need more people. I'm
yeah,
like, well, what are the more people going to
right.
do? So you really feel like making that first step to scaling was starting with project management. Was there anything else that you felt like you needed to fix or change when you started with us?
Well, I didn't know what I didn't know,
Yeah.
right? I didn't even we didn't there was no documented process for anything. That was really the first step was working with you guys. You helped us kind of outline what it is that we were actually doing. Project management, the software and the tool was just kind of an extension of that. Like the work that we did was really about, okay, well, what is it that you do? How do you do it? What are the steps that you take? And then we use the tool to kind of implement that, right? So I feel like the tool's interchangeable, but
I do too.
the work that we did was really all about documenting and process orientation and making sure that everything was consistent.
I think that that's one of the things that we find the most. We have a lot of people come to us from teamwork.com,
Yeah.
and it's hardly ever a teamwork.com problem.
It's never, right? It's not the software.
It's not the software. It's not even usually a project management problem. It is
Yeah.
a bigger operational structure problem. And if you can get on that, it changes your whole life,
Yeah.
not
Agreed.
just the day to day. It changes
Agreed.
much more than that. I know that, well, let's get to that in a minute. Do you remember the first thing we did and how you felt about it?
I think the first thing we did was a series of workshops where I was being interviewed and I just dumped everything out of my head,
Yeah.
essentially. And then I forget who we were working with on your team. Uh, Again, it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But they were great
I think
because
it was Susan at the time and Danielle, who's still with
yeah,
us. Yeah.
great. Yeah, they were wonderful. They helped take everything I dumped out of my head and started going, okay, this is think of this as like onboarding, and here are the steps in onboarding, and helped us categorize everything and helped us kind of document all the steps uh, that we were taking without realizing that we were taking them from taking a client day one through execution and ultimately results for them.
And I'm sure and so that taking that off your brains, out of your brains
Yeah.
and starting to document it, how did that free up your time? How did that change your day to day?
Well, initially gave me a lot more work to do, uh, right? Because it was the first time I'd ever thought about it that way.
Yeah.
It seems so simple and intuitive now. But when you're, starting your own company and you're just fighting for revenue every day and like you're just working 12, 14, 16 hours a day, you don't have time.
Nobody listening to this feels this pain at
Yeah,
all.
you don't have time to stop and go, this is actually what I'm doing, right? You don't have
Right.
like that work is at first a sacrifice
I agree.
because you have to make the time to do that work. But if you make that sacrifice, it sets you free.
I
Like,
love that. We say that all the time. I love that.
yeah, like, and I think I probably got that from you, right? It was like that hard work, those, 3, 4, 5 months of almost like stopping what I was doing and really focusing on the business and figuring out how we were making things work that were working and documenting it for consistency across, everyone that we worked with and worked for. Um, if we hadn't done that, we wouldn't be where we are today. Which is why when you send me that email, and I've been getting your emails, and I keep saying to myself, I have to reach out to Susan and tell her how much our work together has meant to where we are today, and so I finally did, and that's how we're here today.
So where are you today?
Today we have 30 plus clients, 20 plus employees, 3+ million in revenue. Um, we have a consistent way of doing business. It's what's made us be able to scale.
And you can scale
And
even more now. You're built to scale.
we're built to really grow this to 5 million probably the way that we're set up. And that's the other thing that
That's
we're
great.
finding is that every kind of milestone you have to tweak and change those processes and
Right.
right.
They're
Uh,
living and breathing. And I know one of the things you changed, you went from teamwork to Hive. Do you
Correct.
remember the catalyst or why that change came about? Because that was after we
It
after
was
we
after that you left. It was
left you on
actually
your
it was,
own.
it was actually very soon after we started working together. We came to a place where um, we brought in a new head of operations. That's the other really important thing that our
Yes.
work did was like you have to have someone that's focused on this all the time.
Right.
And that was the big game changer too. So we took everything that we built and I handed it off to our head of operations and I said, we can stay in teamwork
Hmm.
or we can look for other options. Again, the tool, while it's important, I think is interchangeable.
I completely agree.
And we just found that Hive for us, the way that we did things was just a little bit less clunky, I guess. It
Yeah.
just has a different interface. Uh, we felt more comfortable with it. we leverage it for messaging between all of us, and it connects with Drive, and it has some time tracking tools and things that just made sense for us.
That's what matters. Getting
Yeah.
something that works. And if was that ops person more familiar with that tool too?
No, but I think he felt comfortable because he had done his due diligence. He was working in
Okay.
teamwork and was looking for other stuff that could uh, offer, I think, some features that just weren't in teamwork. And again, it was 5 years ago, so I forget
Yeah.
exactly what the catalyst was, but
I think a lot of it and features over time change, but I
yeah,
think the important thing, and you have done this, is don't just change your project management tool willy-nilly. The cost for change is there.
yeah,
And so you were early enough that making that change for
that's
something,
exactly right.
yeah, it was great for you and you've stuck there. You've not just bounced around.
Well,
Right.
and so we're actually at another inflection point where we're thinking about maybe moving off of Hive to something else. But at this point, it's a much bigger change, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of embedded in everything that we do right now. So before we make another change, we're going to think really long and hard about
Well,
it.
feel free to reach out. We research a lot of tools and work in a lot, so we're happy to help
Okay,
if
we'll
you want a
do.
little input here or there.
Yeah.
So, do you remember throughout our engagement how you were feeling? I mean, a little bit more work, right?
No.
But were you starting to see the end result?
Oh, I saw it immediately. Again, uh, I knew it was something that we had to do. In fact, I'm no longer partners with the two partners that I had.
Oh, wow,
Uh,
that's a big change.
yeah, we just didn't have alignment on where we wanted to take the business, um, and it was just part of the transformation process, right?
Yeah,
The catalyst was knowing that we wanted to scale, and the way that I thought we needed to scale was different than the way that they wanted to scale, and it just I think it's worked out for all three of us.
that's great.
Uh,
And that's another thing it opened your eyes to, right? Is
totally.
what are the differences in partnerships? We've seen that with husband and wife teams too, where sometimes it stops the fighting if you get in the right lanes and that
Yeah,
kind of things and that kind of thing too. So it's so important that if you're driving and growing and scaling and pushing that everybody on that leadership team is together.
exactly.
And sometimes it's eye-opening as you're working through these things.
Yeah, what I said at the time is if you have too many leaders, you don't have any leadership.
That's true. But you have leaders on your team
We
now.
do. Yep.
They're just not partners.
They're just not partners, correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan in not having partners as well.
Yeah.
It does
It
give you when you start, it feels comfortable, but then as
totally.
you move through, it can become cumbersome.
Absolutely.
And it can
Agree.
and it can hurt relationships that you don't want to hurt too.
Yeah.
But it
I think
sounds
it's
like y'all did all this amicably, at least.
I think amicably enough. I think there's probably some hurt feelings somewhere
Yeah.
along the lines, but again, I think all three of us are better off because of it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, wrapping up here, what
Hmm.
are some takeaways you'd like to give someone else who would be considering working with us?
Just do it.
Just do it. I love it.
Just do it. It's hard. Again, one of the big things for us at the time was cost.
Yeah.
The investment that you make is worth it. If you stick with it, it'll pay off dividends exponentially over time.
I love that. And I'm so glad to hear that. And proof 4, 5 years later that it
Yeah.
still works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, John,
Well,
thanks so much. Oh, go
and I
ahead.
think what you said, Susan, is really important. Like whatever foundation you build, it's a living, breathing thing that should always be nurtured.
I think that's interesting. We do have a lot of clients that come to us and they're like, oh, our processes are documented. I'm like, great, where are they? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, then it doesn't matter. They're actually not done.
Yeah.
But if you can make them living and breathing like you have, and having somebody in charge of that
Yep.
keeper,
That's
which
important
you
too.
so important to continue the work and make it
Yeah.
last 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
John,
thank you again. Appreciate
th-
it.
thank you so much for coming back after all this time
Yeah, of course.
and letting us know.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.